Prosecutor, call your next witness.
State Coast Detective Richard Zarillo.
Oh, sir, just watch your step as you come up. Put your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, once you're comfortable and seated, can you state your full name and spell your last name, please?
Richard Zarillo, Zarrillo.
Thank you. Prosecutor?
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, detectives. Are you currently employed?
I am not.
Are you retired?
I am retired.
Where were you employed prior to your retirement?
I was employed with the Colts Neck Township Police Department from 2003 till 2020.
Okay. What, if any, training did you have to become a police officer?
I attended the Monmouth County Police Academy.
Okay, and after that, did you go to Colts Neck or did you go someplace else?
I went to Colts Neck, a year in patrol, assigned to the Detective Bureau in 2004.
Where did you work prior to the Colts Neck Police Department and prior to the academy?
I worked for the New York City Fire Department as an emergency medical technician from 1992 until 2002 when I took my leave.
Now, back in November of 2018,
Yes.
you were a detective with the Colts Neck Police Department?
Yes.
Okay, what were your hours like?
Typically 8:30 to 4:30 p.m.
I want to draw your attention specifically now to November 20th of 2018. Were you working that day?
I was.
And what, if any, notifications or dispatches did you receive at about 34 p.m.?
The dispatcher had dispatched patrols to a residential fire, and then later on it was believed that there was a body on the front lawn of the location.
Okay, did you get an address for that residential fire?
15 Willow Brook.
What did you do upon receiving that notification?
We waited until we had confirmation, and then myself and my partner at the time was Sergeant Santucci, and we responded to the location.
About what time did you arrive on scene?
Approximately 12:40, I believe.
And how did you get there?
Drove my assigned vehicle there
Were you by yourself or were you with someone else?
with Detective Sergeant Santucci.
Where did you park when you arrived?
On the northbound side of Willow Brook Drive, across from the structure.
Who was already present on scene when you got there?
I believe it was Patrolman Mazzicola, DeCesar, Miyakawa, and Savage had arrived as well.
At about the time you arrived, did any other officers then arrive as well?
From my department, they were sporadic when they got there.
Did any other agencies arrive on scene?
The fire department from Colts Neck and Naval Weapons Station all arrived on scene.
Can you tell us what your observations were when you first arrived at 15 Willowbrook?
Out there I saw the structure a couple of 100 feet off of the roadway, smoke coming out of one side of the structure.
Can you describe the property for us?
It's a large property, a few acres. The residence was a two-story stucco structure. The front door was facing the north side of the roadway. So looking at the structure, the front door faces north on Willowbrook. The east side would be to my left. The west side would be to my right of the location.
Did you take note of any cameras or anything like that affixed to the house?
When I got onto the property, there were surveillance cameras on the exterior of the house.
Do you recall specifically where?
A couple on the corners, again, some time ago.
And did you take note of any solar panels?
There was a solar panel array on the west side of the property.
Were photos taken of this scene?
Yes.
Did you have an opportunity to view those photos?
At some point, yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as S1C slide 5, S1C S1C, slide 124, 27, 128, 129, and 130, as well as S1E, slide 24, 19, 22, and 23, and 21. Do you want to take a look at these? Sure. These are all how it was.
Mr. Murray, do you have any objection to them being published?
We do not, Judge.
Okay, so we don't have to go through that step.
So we can just hold on one second. If we can please have S1C, slide 5. Detective, can you just tell us what we're looking at here?
The front of the structure of the residence.
You recognize that?
Yes.
Just to orient us, if you're facing the house, the east side would be where?
East side would be to the left of the house.
Now, when you entered the scene, did you and Detective Santucci enter together?
We entered the property together. I believe at one point he went to talk with Officer Mazzicola and the 911 caller, and then I started my check of the structure in the scene.
Where specifically did you go first?
Patrolman DeCesar was with the deceased subject on the floor, and I went right to where he was first,
Okay, and where was that in relation to the home?
on the west side of the structure, on the corner.
Okay, and what specifically was he doing over there?
He was protecting the deceased at the time. Make
there
sure
any-
nobody was there.
Was there any tape already set up when you went over there?
I don't recall.
What, if any, notifications did you make at that time?
I notified the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office and asked for the major crime supervisor to contact me.
Can you describe what observations you made of the deceased subject?
He was prone or face down. He had a hoodie on. I could see there was a hole in the back of the hoodie, and I could see what looked like an injury. His hands were underneath him. His legs were crossed.
Did you learn the deceased's name at some point?
At some point, yes.
And what was that?
Keith Caneiro.
Did you learn whether or not he was the homeowner at 15 Willow Brook Road?
Yes, we did.
When you first observed Keith's body, was anything covering him?
No, it was not.
Shortly thereafter, did somebody provide something to cover up the body?
I believe we got a sheet from the first aid squad to cover him.
And then after that, was there something else?
Red tarp was put on top of him.
Did you do anything at that point to check Keith's body?
Yes, I rolled him over to check to see if he was deceased. He was pulseless and breathless. There was a red blood, what I believe to be blood, solidified underneath him.
And did you make any other observations about the body?
He was stiff to the touch.
Now, how long did you remain on scene for?
For several hours I was at the scene.
And did Keith's body remain in that location the entire time?
Once I finished, I rolled him back into the position I found him, and then he was covered and stayed there until the medical examiner's office removed him.
We could please have the slide. That's 1E, slide 24. Slide 25, I'm sorry.
25?
Detective, can you just explain to us what we're looking at here?
We're looking at the deceased covered with a sheet on the east side of the west side of the structure.
Now, what is behind where the body was located?
There's a tree, and then right behind the tree is the meter pin assembly, where the meter is to the house.
After examined Keith's body, where did you go?
I went to the corner of the house where the meter is.
Okay, and what, if any, observations did you make while you were over there?
That the electrical service meter was removed from the panel and the pan cover was on the ground,
And where was the meter?
also on the ground.
Okay. Are you able to see on the ground where they are right now from this picture? Did you make any observations about the electrical service box itself at that point?
It was open, the wires were exposed, and there was a handle. I later found out it's called a bypass handle that was in the down position.
Okay. What do you mean the bypass handle? What is that?
It's used to secure the meter in place. It's also used to bypass electrical service.
So when you get to the scene and you make these observations, about how long was it after you were on scene that you make these observations?
Within a few moments of me being there.
Okay. And while you were on scene, did you see anybody over in that particular area at any point?
No,
Okay. Was JCP&L there at that point?
they were not.
Can I please have slide S1E, slide 19, it should be this. Now, did anyone make contact with you while you were over by the meter area?
Yes.
And who was that?
One of the Colts Neck firefighters, Dave Paulson.
Okay, and specifically, what, if anything, did he direct your attention to?
He said on one of the back porches of the house, he observed what he believed was a live, intact bullet on the ground.
Okay. When you say a live, intact bullet, can you just explain what that is?
Bullet has two main components plus the powder, three main components plus the powder. The bullet itself was the shell casing, and the projectile was still in the front of the bullet. So that would make it an intact, or I believe to be live round at that point.
Okay. And when he informed you of that, what, if anything, did you do as a result of that?
I left Officer DeCesar with the deceased. I went to the location, I observed the round, and I requested somebody bring me a traffic cone from one of the patrol cars.
Okay, what did you do with that?
I covered the round where it was for evidentiary value.
Where in relation, if you could, and we'll come back to the photos, but where in relation to Keith's body was that bullet?
He was found on the side of the home off the corner. That was, 50, 100 feet difference from where he was.
Were there any doors that were near that area where that live round was found?
Yes.
Okay, and did you notice anything about those doors?
One of them was open. Fire operations were ongoing inside the house, so I couldn't tell if it was they who opened it or it was open prior to that.
What, if any, notifications did you make at that point?
I was in touch with Sergeant Chapman from the prosecutor's office, advised him of the scene and what we had observed, and he said that his office would be sending officers to help us.
Did you speak to anyone else after him?
I'm sure, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Do you recall speaking to a detective, Brian Weisbrot?
Yes. Of the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office. He had contacted me after I spoke with Detective Sergeant Chapman.
Yeah, what, if any, information did you provide at that point to Detective Weisbrot?
He asked if I knew the homeowner's name, and I did. I told him it was Keith Caneiro, and he advised me that he was at a...
Objection.
Sustained.
I just want to know what you told him.
I told him that I was at the residence of Keith Caneiro.
Okay. Were you made aware of any other... Oh, I thought it was there an objection?
Not again.
Okay. Were you made aware...
Was there? I didn't hear it.
I thought I heard something
I
else.
objected, Will. I objected previously.
Before, and I sustained it.
Yes.
Oh.
There's not a second one.
There was
I
not.
just didn't hear it.
Oh, that's okay. I'm hearing things. It's fine.
Were you made aware of any other investigations that were happening in Monmouth County? Without telling me anything anyone said, were you made aware of anything?
Yes.
And what specifically were you aware of?
Objection.
Residential.
What's the objection? I'm sorry.
That's hearsay again. I'm sorry.
Don't say anything that anyone else says to you. You can only say what you said to that particular person.
Understood, Your Honor.
Okay? So re-ask your question so it's appropriate that he can answer it. I'll sustain the objection if there was hearsay to it. Go ahead.
Were you made aware of any, or did you know about any other investigations that were occurring at this time?
I learned of another fire
Okay, and where was that?
in Monmouth County in Ocean Township.
Did you learn the homeowner's name there of that fire?
Yes.
Okay, and what was that?
Paul Caneiro,
What was the address?
27 Tilton Drive.
Now, at this point, are fire operations in full force at 15 Willow Brook Road?
Yes, fire operations were ongoing for quite some time there.
After you spoke with Detective Weisbrot, what, if any, other information did you learn about the inside of 15 Willow Brook Road?
That there were additional deceased victims inside the house.
Okay, and specifically, where were those additional deceased victims located?
One was in the kitchen, one was next to the staircase, and one was on the landing of the staircase.
When you say the landing of a staircase, can you be more specific?
The staircase going from the first floor to the second floor, there was a deceased victim on the floor prior to the steps, and at the halfway point, there's a landing connecting the staircases.
What, if anything, did you advise firefighters to do or not do when you learned that information?
I asked them not to move any of the victims if possible, unless it was because of fire operations or for safety concerns.
And why is that?
In the event that there was evidence to be collected or how the victims were found, we wanted it to remain intact as much as possible.
Now, despite your advisement, what, if anything, happened a short while later?
One of the victims was brought out of the residence.
Okay, and can you explain what, if anything, you observed about that?
There was a young female child that was brought out of the residence.
And how was the child brought out?
She was carried by a couple of firefighters, partially clothed. Her on the ground in front of the garage area, and then ultimately covered her as well.
Did you learn her name at some point?
Sophia Caneiro.
And did you learn her age?
I believe she was 8 years old.
What observations did you make of the little girl's body at that point?
She had what looked like stab wounds on her.
Was Sophia covered up with anything?
We covered her with a sheet.
I want to draw your attention now to about 1:15, 1:30 p.m. Who else arrived on scene at that point?
I believe there were detectives from the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office that arrived on scene.
From what? I'm sorry.
From the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office, Forensics Unit.
Forensics, okay. And do you know, generally speaking, what their role was on the scene?
In larger scenes, the county office comes out to assist. They'll photograph the scene, collect any evidence, process any evidence that's collected at the scene.
And as they are arriving on scene, do other detectives also arrive on scene at some point from any other agencies?
From the prosecutor's office as well, from the major crimes unit.
Okay. And is there a point in time when you're sharing information that you've already learned with them?
Yes.
Now, do you recall, or I should ask you this, did you have a counterpart? Were you the lead detective in this case?
For Colts Neck Township, yes.
Did you have a counterpart from the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office Major Crimes Unit as a lead detective?
Yes, Detective Patrick Petrozello.
What time approximately did he arrive on scene?
I'm not really sure of the times. It wasn't that much long later.
Do you recall who the first crime scene unit detective was from the prosecutor's office to arrive?
Detective Flanagan, I believe.
When he arrived, what did he do?
I explained to him what was going on, and then he just started photo documenting the scene.
I want to draw your attention now, to about 2:30 p.m. Were fire suppression efforts still underway at that point?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. What was placed in the driveway area at that point next to the garage?
Requested a pop-up tent be set up
And what was the purpose of that?
to cover the victims.
So just to be clear, were the victims' bodies moved underneath the pop-up tent?
Yes.
Did there come a time when the two remaining deceased individuals inside the house were removed from the house?
Yes.
Okay. Can you describe how they were removed from the home?
Also by firefighters, they were extracted from the residence. The little boy was brought out. I don't know if I have the order correct, I'm sorry. The boy was brought out, also partially clothed. He had wounds on him as well, possibly stab wounds. And then an adult female was brought out of the residence. She was burned very, very badly, full thickness burns to see muscle structure on her body.
Did you learn the little boy's name?
Jesse,
Jesse Caneiro?
Yes.
And did you learn his age?
I believe he was 11 at the time.
At around that time, did the structural integrity of 15 Willow Brook Road become a concern?
Yes.
And what, if anything, was requested of firefighters at that point?
They said that the structure, where they weren't sure what the stability of it, they asked if they could find any kind of electronics, DVR, video recording equipment that could be removed from the structure.
And why did you make that request?
Seeing cameras on the outside, if there were any recordings of what went on prior to this, we wanted to see that.
And as a result of that request, what, if anything, did you see them do?
They did remove some electronic equipment from the location.
Now, were family members of the deceased identified or spoken to that afternoon?
Yes, by members of the investigative team.
Okay, do you recall who specifically was spoken to?
We spoke with Jennifer's parents, I believe, was spoken to at our headquarters or at the prosecutor's office. And I know that Paul Caneiro's family was spoken to by members as well. And at some point, Corey was spoken to.
Okay, and who's Corey?
Corey is also a brother in the Caneiro family.
Okay, was there also a babysitter that was spoken to?
Yes, she was later identified and spoken to.
Were there any concerns about her potentially being in the house at some point?
Yes, earlier, when we realized that there were people still unaccounted for at the early onset of the scene, one of the neighbors had said that there may have been a babysitter that they hadn't seen, and that's what we were looking for as well.
At about a little after 4 p.m., what agency arrived on scene?
Probably the medical examiner's office arrived on the scene.
Okay, and what did they do?
They were there to confirm the deceased and then assist in the investigation, process the victims, and then remove them to their office.
Okay. Were you with them when they were examining the victims' bodies?
Yes.
Okay. Did you make any further observations about the children?
We was able to see the multiple stab wounds in both children.
And did one child appear to have a wound in some place in particular?
Sophia had a knife wound, I believe, in her left eye and on her head.
As part of your job as a detective in Colts Neck back in 2018, was there anything that you would review on a daily basis when you arrived to work in the morning?
Every morning I would review the last 24 hours worth of calls.
When you say calls, what kinds of calls would you be reviewing?
Any dispatch or a car stop or any interaction that the officers had in the last 24 hours, I would see every call for service.
And how specifically would you review those calls?
The dispatch system at the time was such that we could run a report with parameters based on times in our area of responsibility.
When you got to work that morning, so prior to you responding to the scene, when you got to work on the morning of November 20th of 2018, did you review the calls from the night before?
I did.
Okay, and at some point in time while you were on scene, did you recall anything about what you reviewed?
Yes.
And what was that?
Approximately at 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 a.m., there was a call for shots fired.
And where specifically was that
I
call?
believe it was in the area of River's Edge Drive, and Patrolman Zappi responded to the location.
Do you know what the outcome of his response was?
At the time, it was unfounded. There was nothing heard or seen at the time.
Did you learn the name of the person that made that call to 911?
I believe it was Kapora with the last name.
And you indicated, where did that call specifically come from?
Laird near River's Edge.
What was the distance in mileage, if you could, between that area and 15 Willow Brook Road?
2 to 3 miles difference.
Now, we talked about how some of the family members of the deceased were identified and spoken to that day.
Yes.
Did there come a time when officers spoke with the victim Keith's brother, Corey Caneiro?
Yes.
Okay, and his wife, Elisa?
Yes.
Okay, generally speaking, where did that occur?
Lisa was spoken to, I believe, township police officers at some point, and then later in the day, I spoke with Corey Caneiro, with Detective Petrozello.
When was contact made with Corey?
Later, about 7 p.m.-ish, 7:30-ish,
Okay, and where was he located at that point?
in Pennsylvania.
Okay, and do you know why he was located there?
Objection.
I'm going to sustain it. The only way to know it is through hearsay.
At some point, did you have the opportunity to speak with Corey?
Yes.
Okay, and how did that come about?
Detective Petrozello contacted him and arranged for a meeting with him. He said he advised us he was in Pennsylvania and he would meet us out there.
Okay, and specifically, did you meet him that night?
Yes.
Okay, and about how long did it take you to get? Let me ask you this: when did you leave the scene?
Probably close to 7:30 or 8 o'clock, in that area.
Okay, and where specifically did you go?
To the Bethlehem, Pennsylvania Police Department.
Okay, when you got there, about what time was it?
I believe it was about 9:30.
What time?
9:30-ish.
Okay, and who arrived shortly thereafter?
Keith Caneiro arrived shortly after.
Okay, and did you get to speak with him that night?
We did.
Who did you talk to?
Keith Caneiro.
No.
I'm sorry, Corey Caneiro. My apologies.
How long were you and Detective Petrozello speaking with Corey for?
1 to 2 hours.
Okay, and what, if anything, did you advise him at the conclusion of that meeting?
That we would meet with him again to possibly take a formal statement
Okay, and did you in fact meet with him again to take a formal statement?
the following day
Okay, and where was that?
at the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office.
Prior to leaving the Bethlehem Police Department, were you and Detective Petrozello in contact with the investigative team?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you left the Bethlehem Police Department, where did you go?
We responded back to the scene at 15 Willow Brook.
And what time was that about?
Might have been close to 11:30.
So now are we into November 21st of 2018?
We're getting into the following day, yes.
And what, if any, observations did you make of the scene at that point?
Fire operations had concluded. There was a manned engine company there for fire watch, and members of Colts Neck Township and the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office were on scene securing it.
All right, let's stop it there. We're going to stop it there for the day. It's a little early, but I like you guys. So I feel like this is a good place to stop before we continue on. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to send you home for today. You'll be back here same time tomorrow morning. We may tomorrow take a witness out of turn. Sometimes we do that. If that's the case, we end up doing that. I'll let you know, and we'll talk about that. But just go home tonight. Don't discuss this case. Don't do any research. You learned a lot of information today. Just keep it all in your head. But that's where it stays. Just have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Thank you. We just have to go over a few logistical things. So you're going to come back tomorrow, so obviously tonight, if you could just do us a favor of not talking to anybody about it. You're basically sequestered through the course of this. You can't speak to the prosecutor's office or anybody else. You'll be back here tomorrow morning. There may be a little bit of a delay because we may go into two other witnesses and then come back to you. So I've just asked for you to be patient with us a little bit. We'll try not to go too far into your retirement. All right. So you're excused for the day. Everybody, we'll be back tomorrow morning at 8:30 to continue on with the testimony. I hope everyone has a good night. Please be safe. I'll see everybody tomorrow. Thank you.